In May 2020, as it became clear that the COVID-19 pandemic was having a significant impact on the lives of young people around the world, a group of Latinx and Indigenous youth in Tkaronto set out to conduct research on how young people like themselves were navigating the challenges presented by the lockdown. Supported by a group of research mentors, the youth researchers developed an approach for conducting virtual focus groups online using visual artifacts. The team conducted 5 focus groups with 14 participants and collected 16 visual artifacts. Based on the images and the stories collected throughout the research, this composite story weaves the many experiences that the young people shared. This is our story of resilience during COVID-19.
I look up from my lounge chair in my backyard to see a yellow balloon floating against the blue sky. It's not normal to see more balloons in the sky than planes, but these are strange times. Since school moved online, I've been waking up later and later each day. Today I missed my first period Google Meet, and I'm attempting to concentrate on my biology teacher rambling while my mind floats away, disconnected from school like this balloon. It feels like I'm stuck in my bubble, being blown around by the wind. Today marks a month from the day I would have been in Los Angeles with both my parents and my sister. But with cases rising exponentially, my dad is stuck with my sister in the States, and my mom and I can't risk leaving our little bubble and going to see them. I go inside and I glance at the old magnetic picture of my older sister as I prepared my lunch. It is hard to believe she had turned 18 this year. No graduation, no prom, no real goodbyes, and being forced to quit her first job for safety of our parents. It all had been an abrupt stop to everything. My parents found it hard to comprehend what she was going through. They did not want to accept that the isolation had triggered higher anxiety for her and episodes of depression. I've shared with her my own coping mechanisms of art and journaling that I've had to develop since feeling trapped like a prisoner in my own house. I never thought I would need so many coping strategies.
I try to go for a walk after online classes whenever I can. I grab my headphones and leave. I find that music helps distract me and keeps me focused on the present instead of what it would be like if COVID-19 hadn't happened. The first house I pass is my friend Christina's, who lives 4 houses away with her mom and dad. Seeing how hard her parents work even during these difficult times has been Christina's motivation to keep going. Sadly, they can't leave their house or work for a while because her mom caught COVID-19 while working in a nursing home. I'm reminded of how we were supposed to backpack across Europe this summer. I guess that won't happen for a while. As I walk through my neighborhood, it feels abnormally quiet and isolating, like I was the only one out on the streets. My sad thoughts carry me down a trail through my local park with comforting tall trees. It's peaceful to connect with nature. I realize that parks are the closest to nature we can get. My walk takes me by a group of friends having a picnic, reading poems to each other and telling stories. Dogs run by me, chasing balls their owners are throwing. I see people doing a socially distant exercise class. Lately, it has been hard to process everything going on, yet this walk through the park helped clear my mind. It seems like people have been adapting, and our parks have provided the supporting space. My cousin Vanessa, who lives beside the park, doesn't go out at all and follows what the experts say to the extreme. Vanessa is a really talented singer who adjusted her small space into a makeshift studio. She isn't allowed to leave her apartment for any reason. I'm not sure how she does it, but I guess she copes through making music. I wouldn't be able to stay inside all the time. As I walk home, the sun starts to set. Across the street, I see the homeless man Vanessa and I would see when walking home from school. I remember Vanessa saying she was grateful she had a warm home and her family, even if she lived in a small apartment and had to share her space with her siblings. Once I return home, I prepare dinner. As I am eating, I look out the window and observe the clouds turning into an amazing mixture of orange and pink. Even though it has been an uneventful day, I feel exhausted, but I'm glad I have a scheduled call with my friends.
This will be a great distraction from reading the continuous and personal news, as I will be able to reconnect with real people and hear their stories. So, I grab my computer and send the Zoom link to the group chat. Once I join, I see my closest friends Harper, Christina, and Jasmine on the call. Jasmine is in British Columbia as she was completing her military training that was postponed when the pandemic hit. This was a huge setback in her personal goals, which has been very frustrating for her. Next, Harper shares how her and her family are stuck in her home country, Ecuador, because of the border closures. Things are getting rough, as there is a high mortality rate and cases seem to be getting out of hand with respect to the available resources. I miss Harper and her sense of humor. Before we end our call, we share the memories from a year ago. I share my screen and show photos that I digitized from an old photo album we made last summer. We remembered what it was like to hang out together in the city at night before we had to stay distant from each other. These days, we only get to see friends outside and while keeping our distance. 6 feet has never felt so far before. After my call, I notice my dad has sent me a photo. I open it, and it's a picture of my sister and my dad's attempt to celebrate her graduation. My phone starts ringing and lights up with a picture of me and my sister. I answer, as always, and prepare for the emptiness and loneliness I'll feel once the call ends. She tells me how much better it would have been if we had not been separated and could celebrate together. As I get ready for bed, I take a moment to appreciate the time we live in and how available communication is to us. I am grateful I can talk to my friends and family regularly, even if they're miles away. Hopefully, the next few months are better. I fall asleep as I look up on my bed and see the dream catcher my dad made for me.